Most Americans assume daily routines are fixed, but living in Europe often challenges these beliefs in unexpected ways. Did you know that work habits, safety, and even neighborhood life can look completely different after a year outside the United States? Sitting at a cafe in Rome at midday, for example, locals stay at the table for an unhurried lunch while the outside street slows down. Many daily habits Americans take for granted look different after a year in Europe. This video covers the 10 most common realizations Americans have after living in Europe, focusing on contrasts seen in everyday life, from work schedules to community values. But before we continue, hit that like button and subscribe. Number 10. Work life has a different meaning. Americans are used to seeing long hours as proof of commitment. Before smartphones existed, it was common to bring work home or postpone vacations to meet job expectations. In Europe, the routine shifts. In countries like Germany and France, laws require at least 4 to 6 weeks of vacation every year, and people usually disconnect fully from their jobs when off the clock. It's common to see empty office buildings after 6 p.m., while city parks are filled with families. Lunch breaks last a full hour, with coworkers sharing a real meal without laptops. Coffee breaks focus on conversation rather than efficiency. In these settings, compensation reflects not only job performance but also the importance of balance in daily life. Many Americans feel unfamiliar at first with the slower rhythm, but soon realize it's about different priorities in everyday living. Rather than sacrificing time with family or hobbies, the European system builds these values right into the schedule. Number 9. Safety in day-to-day life. For many Americans, safety concerns shape routines, especially in cities where news about gun violence or crime is common. In many parts of Europe, daily life feels noticeably different. Residents of Berlin can walk home at midnight without the same level of worry. Late trains in Vienna are used confidently by people of all ages. Street scenes are generally calm, with less tension. Violent crime, especially involving firearms, is much less frequent than in the U.S. Although pickpocketing occurs in crowded tourist areas, the overall sense of threat is lower. Parents let children walk to school or play in public parks with a confidence that's harder to find in many American cities. Most Americans notice a quiet relief as anxiety about personal safety fades from daily routines. Over weeks and months, people often question why this level of safety is difficult to achieve back home. The difference starts with how neighborhoods are designed, the role of community spaces, and how rules are enforced. Number 8. Healthcare costs become predictable. In the United States, high medical expenses influence major life decisions. Even people with insurance may avoid seeing a doctor due to co-pays, deductibles, or worries about sudden bills. In most European countries, that anxiety fades. For example, a doctor's visit in France is often under $30. The UK's National Health Service covers routine appointments for residents. In Sweden, yearly caps keep total personal spending on healthcare in check. Prescription drugs are subsidized. A 30-day supply of cholesterol medication may cost $9 in the UK, compared to $200 or more in an American pharmacy. Ambulance rides in Germany often cost under $20, but in the US, those same trips can top $1,500. The care itself changes too. Most doctors spend more time with patients, and appointments rarely feel rushed. For Americans, not having to calculate the cost before each appointment is a major adjustment. It's a small detail, but it influences every decision about health. Number 7. Food quality and taste. Many Americans find the difference in food noticeable within days. Baguettes from a Paris bakery or tomatoes from a Barcelona market taste fresher and have fewer additives compared to U.S. supermarket options. In the EU, over 70 pesticides banned by European authorities are still legal in the U.S. Genetically modified foods are tightly regulated, and labels specify exact origins. Organic produce is widely available and usually costs only a small amount more, sometimes less than $1 extra per kilogram. Local fast food chains prepare salads on the spot, not hours ahead. After some time abroad, many Americans find foods from home taste saltier or have an artificial flavor. Eating high-quality food stops being an occasional treat and becomes routine, no matter one's income. Dining out, like enjoying a meal at a trattoria in Florence or a pub in Dublin, emphasizes flavor and tradition over portion size or speed. Over time, the expectation of quality ingredients changes the way people think about both health and happiness. Number 6. Less dependence on cars. In post-war America, car ownership became tied to independence and status. As suburbs spread, the daily commute shaped most routines. Stepping into a European city, Americans notice a world built for people over vehicles. Metro lines connect even small cities. In Paris, public transport handles over half of all daily trips. Berlin's U-Bahn offers rides for 320, and high-speed trains link cities. Brussels to Paris starts around 29. Owning a car in Europe involves searching for scarce parking and paying about 1.90 per liter of fuel. For many, public transport is freeing. Boarding a train in Zurich or riding a tram through Rotterdam is reliable and stress-free. The lack of car payments, fuel bills, and insurance becomes a real financial benefit. Still, some Americans miss the flexibility of driving. As routines shift, people often trade one kind of mobility for another and rethink what independence means. Number 5. Multilingual communication is the norm. European students start language classes early. In Belgium, it's common for children to speak Dutch at home, use French in school, and learn English by age 10. By graduation, many know 3 or more languages. In the US, fewer than 20% of students learn a second language at any point in school. Americans in Europe are often surprised to hear a waiter in Amsterdam switch easily from Dutch to English. Newsstands carry papers in several languages, and train stations display multilingual signs. This isn't just about convenience, it broadens how people view the world. Discussing current events in more than one language is routine in many European cities. Most Americans soon try to learn enough of the local language to take part in basic conversations. Although it's humbling at first, this shift often changes how people think about communication and culture. Number 4. Higher education without crushing debt. College in the U.S. is known for its cost. In 2022, the average private university charged more than $39,000 per year, and average student loan debt is over $3,000 per person. Europe offers a sharp contrast. Germany's public universities charge little or no tuition for both domestic and international students. Norway and Sweden also keep tuition costs low or at zero. Living expenses still matter, but graduating with serious debt is far less common. Before university, the education system often emphasizes broad skills, arts, languages, and hands-on trades, alongside standard coursework. Finland, for example, mixes academic and practical skills throughout a child's education. Because the cost pressure is lower, students can pick from more options after graduation. Most Americans find the wider access to low-cost education difficult to believe at first, and many start to compare the value of each system over time. Number 3. Time and daily schedules change. Life in the U.S. often means tight schedules and packed weekends, even for retired people. In many European cities, routines unfold more slowly. Shops may close early or stay shut Sundays. Cafes in Vienna fill with morning customers who stay to read newspapers as trams pass by. Dinner can last for several hours, with multiple courses and unhurried conversation. The purpose isn't to do less, but to be more present. Americans often feel restless early on, facing empty afternoons or adjusting to early store closings. With time, they begin to see how scheduled pauses and slower meals add meaning to daily life. Measuring each day by productivity shifts toward appreciating unscheduled time and simple moments. Number 2. Community is designed into daily life. In Europe, public spaces set the stage for shared experience. Local markets fill on weekends as neighbors greet each other. Parks and plazas serve as open gathering spots for all generations. A trip through a plaza in Seville or a Budapest market displays people talking, sitting, and sharing space together. In American suburbs especially, social life depends more on planned visits or scheduled activities. Neighbors might go days without talking. In Europe, small exchanges, a word with your baker, meeting at the pub, are part of daily routine and help create stronger social ties. At first, many Americans feel out of place or reserved, but most grow to value these regular face-to-face contacts. Over time, people notice these connections contribute to both enjoyment and a sense of mutual trust and safety. Technology and car-centric design may isolate people elsewhere, but in much of Europe, community still relies on personal contact. Number 1. Returning home highlights contradictions. After time in Europe, many Americans return to see home with new eyes. Larger restaurant portions, constant advertising, and 24-hour stores might feel excessive. People appreciate the speed and energy in the U.S. Innovation and drive stand out, but old routines now cause stress. Paying a 20% tip on meals or examining insurance forms for a hospital visit becomes more frustrating, especially after experiencing simpler pricing and universal healthcare. Some start questioning everyday habits taken for granted in the U.S., such as reliance on personal cars, constant busyness, or turning free time into work. Living abroad illuminates both the strengths and weaknesses of each system. Americans realize the visible differences reflect much deeper structures. The rules, norms, and expectations that shape outcomes quietly. The contradiction remains. Time spent overseas creates new respect for home, but also uncovers features that had gone unnoticed for years. As priorities change, values are often reconsidered. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this.